They begin.
John Smith is your typical public high school student in Minnesota. Throughout his entire learning career, he has been forced to complete numerous standardized tests, such as the MCAs. Not only do these tests take valuable class time to prepare for and take, but they also lead to increased levels of stress in both John and other students like him. Months after taking these tests, he receives only a few confusing charts and a percentile for his results. He never truly finds out what he needs to work on and improve on for future tests. Therefore, he begins to question the current state-led testing system. Even though this is a hypothetical situation, it helps to display the current issues with the state-made testing system. So what is the problem? The problem is the numerous standardized tests are misguiding about that student and can have negative impacts on both them and their learning. First, test scores can be misguided. According to the National Center for Educational Statistics, in 2014, there will be 49.8 million students attending a public school in the United States. While at these schools, the students will take dozens of standardized tests throughout all 12 years. The tests are all different. According to Amanda Paulson, a staff writer for the Christian Science Monitor, on October 29, 2009, both Minnesota and Arizona stated that 66% of their fourth grade students were at grade level, while a different testing system actually showed that the Minnesota fourth graders were doing slightly better than the Arizona students. And this helps to show that all states have different difficulties and different questions for their tests. In August of 2013, Kim McGuire of the Star Tribune stated that reading proficiency in Minnesota was 57% and math was 61%. The tests are used to check reading proficiency and math proficiency, but they don't allow the students to see exactly what they know and what they don't know. While some will say that seeing their percentile will lead the students to realize their true need for improvement, many students simply do not care about the results, or they will get a high percentile and they will realize that maybe they don't need to put as much effort into their learning. This amount of testing has negatively impacted students throughout the country. The testing causes a tremendous amount of stress on students. The belief that they need to pass these tests in order to graduate makes the students feel that they need to pass and increases the stress level in them. Some people believe that these state tests are great practice, but the tests actually can have a negative impact on learning time. The focus on testing takes away valuable learning lessons and the skills needed to succeed. According to Katie Zazima of the Associated Press for the NPR News, on September 8, 2013, tests don't stress critical thinking, creativity, and collaboration skills that most students will need to succeed. Since these tests don't stress these key areas, many students will not receive practice time and do not receive testing on these skills, and then they won't be able to develop them for the future. Also, a U.S. News article from February 5th, 2014, written by Allie Bidwell, an education reporter for U.S. News, stated that preparation in test-heavy school districts and states can take up more than 25% of the school year. That's 1/4 of the school year just on testing. So what can we do? We need to develop a more universal testing system. We need a national test that will be given to each student in all 12 years of their school. This test would be given in all schools throughout the country. Every student would be required to take the test in grades 1 through 12. The U.S. Department of Education will create and regulate the test. There will be a different test for each grade level, and it will get consistently harder based on their grade level. The test will include testing on math, reading and writing, science, and social studies. But it will also incorporate sections on critical thinking and creativity that most students will need to succeed in the future. This test will be better than the current system we employ. We would have a universal test to compare the different states and schools, as well as see the results of the education system of the nation as a whole. This test would have easy-to-follow results. Every student will receive the results with how they did, as well as key areas that they should improve on to be better in the future. The results would also show any improvements made by that student since last year's test. Things will get better if my plan is followed. There will be one standardized test for every student throughout the country. This test will include more than just remembering facts and information. It'll be more comprehensive and a better judgment of that student's ability. It will also lead to less stress for that student. The results will be easy to read and help the student improve for the future. Now, I can't do it alone, so I need your help to fix this problem. You can contact any of your state representatives or senators, such as your current state senator, Al Franken. He can be reached at his St. Cloud office at 916 West St. Germain Street in St. Cloud, or you can call him at 320-251-2721. You should tell him that you believe the United States should have one nationwide standardized test for each grade for grades 1 through 12. This test will be greatly beneficial to the students and the schools, and will be a key building block for the future of both the students and the education system of the United States.